Welcome. This lesson is for kids, teachers, parents, people who feel like they're rhythmically challenged, whoever you are. I hope you can get something out of this, and I'm glad you're here. All right, so we're going to start working on steps to our first drum beat, and we're going to start with our hands. And I'm right-handed, so I'm going to use my right hand for the hi-hat. So this hand's going to be going 1 and 2 and. Then the next step is really easy. I'm going to use 2 hands when I say 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. And you want to be sure you keep counting it out loud or have the student count it out loud while they're working on that. That'll help them keep the tempo consistent and the notes more evenly spaced. It just helps the brain understand where everything falls. With kids, sometimes they might not understand what evenly spaced notes are if they're really young, so you can show them these are evenly spaced notes. And then say, are these evenly spaced notes? And they'll be like, no. Like, okay, we're trying to go really even. And then once they understand what you're looking for, not just the steps, but that the steps be even, they can work towards that and do it. Okay, now, once you're moving it to the drum set, it can feel a little confusing all over again, and that's to be expected because your hands are crossed and you got sticks in your hands and just your hands are at different levels, and that's okay. It's just going to take a minute or so. Stay with the counting. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. And you want to work on that too and get it a little faster and get it really even and feel comfortable with it. Another thing that someone can work on when they're working up to their first beat is what the bass drum and the snare are doing together. And that is, again, we're going to count. I'm right-handed, so my dominant leg is right. That's my bass drum leg. So I'm going to go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So the snare is being played on 2. We've got the bass drum on beat 1. So if you don't have a drum set, you can still do it. You can go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. All right, and this is all just to get some muscle memory going, some familiarity before we move on to the first beat. Now the first beat, I've broken it down into 4 steps, and it's hi-hat bass, hi-hat, hi-hat snare, hi-hat. It's going to take a while to even get it up to that speed, but once you get comfortable, when you start your first beat, and you've got it written down on a piece of paper what those 4 steps are, and you're looking at it and you're working on it, you don't have to count then, because once you're doing 3 appendages at once, you're probably going to get so confused or really mixed up if you're trying to count at the same time. So at first, just take those 4 steps written down in front of you and work them out very slowly. And you don't need a drum set for that either. It would be, I'm right-handed again, so it's going to be right hand, right foot, right hand, both hands, right hand. And once you have all those steps going, at the same time, you are doing great because you're doing your first beat, and that is really exciting. If you want a little more information on the first beat, well, I've got a first lesson out there. I think it's called Your First Drum Beat. I'm probably going to redo that and improve it a little bit, but you can go back to that. It's got the 4 easy steps, and I talk a little bit about your first beat. But just take your time. If you have any questions, just ask them below, and I'll try to help, and you can totally do this.